Good day everyone. Today I will discuss the rhetoric or reality, contesting definitions of women in Korea by Sasha Hampson. This chapter demonstrates that there is a dramatic difference between the rhetoric and the reality of gender equality in Korea. The rapid growth of the Korean economy in the last 3 decades has altered the Korean family structure in significant ways. Nonetheless, adherence to Confucian family values remains strong. We all know what beauty standards Koreans have. The women are flawless, they have porcelain skin, petite, beautiful, no pores or any other imperfections in their body or faces. However, despite of their perfectly imperfect faces, women in Korea faces different issues like gender inequality, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and any other issues that many countries experiences. The second statement highlights the tension between modern employment opportunities for Korean women and traditional Confucian values. While societal shifts have opened new career paths, women's choices remain influenced by cultural expectations such as filial piety, family loyalty, conformity to group norms, and chastity. Even as women gain access to more opportunities, their personal and professional choices are often shaped or limited by long-standing social values. The Korean economy's rapid growth in the past 3 decades has significantly impacted family structures, but adherence to Confucian values remains strong. As the economy shifts from agricultural production to urbanization, the number of single-parent families has increased from 642,000 in 1995 to 888,823 in 1994. But unlike the two-generation household, this is not socially acceptable. Marriage remains a major concern for the parents of the young women and men involved. It represents an opportunity to improve the status of the family and is far more than simply a manifestation of a young couple's mutual affection. Ang pagpapakasal kasi is a major concern for the parents of young women and men involved kasi naniniwala sila na yung social status nila or yung yaman nila is mame-maintain through marriage with their same social status. Then lastly, yung statement 3, sa Confucian culture kasi, yung pagpapakasal is a strong expectation in Korea. Tapos, if hindi ka pakasal when you are in your 30s, parang lagpas ka na sa kalendaryo dito sa Pilipinas. Or nababahala yung elderlies or yung mga kamag-anak niya at their age na wala pa silang asawa or hindi pa sila nagpapakasal. Then currently, yung average age of marriage for women is 25.3 years and 28.4 years for men. Ayan, di ba katulad sa sinabi ko sa last slide, in Confucian culture kasi, dapat bago ka mag-30, kailangan kasal ka na or nagpakasal ka na para ma-preserve yung family name at nag-e-emphasize ng domestic duties and defining womanhood in Korea. Then sa statement 2 kasi, yung ideologies ng government and Confucius is hindi nagkakasundo or hindi tugma. Yung government kasi is binabawasan nila yung birth rate, while sa Confucian family naman is or yung Confucian tradition naman is iba yung paniniwala nila doon. And ayan sa statement 3 is nagbunga yung effort ng Korean government na mabawasan yung population growth nila and with a projected zero growth rate by 2021. Tapos yung statement 4 naman is yung mga female-oriented methods like IUDs and tubal ligations are more common than male-oriented methods like vasectomies and condoms. Korea's economy has grown dramatically in the last 30 years and until the collapse of the stock market and the currency in 1998, Korea was regarded as an economic miracle and given the tag of a tiger economy. Industrialization and export-driven manufacturing has seen South Korea's gross national product increase from $80 in the early 1960s to $10,000 in 1996. This success has been large part the result of the labor of women working in low status and low wage jobs within the manufacturing industries. The first statement is the participation rate of women in the workforce rose from 26.8% in 1960 to 47.6% in 1995, as many moved from rural areas to cities for jobs in new factories and businesses. From 1960 to the late 1980s, where women primarily work in labor-intensive sectors like textiles, clothing, rubber products, food processing, and electronics. Women face significant wage gaps and limited representation in supervisory roles, holding only 1.4% of such positions, despite being employed in sectors like manufacturing and clerical work. The 1989 Equal Employment Act aimed to promote gender equality, but as of 1995, women's earnings were still only 61 to 65% of the average male wage, showing minimal improvement since 1990. This underscores the persistent challenges to achieving workplace equality for women in Korea. The government has enacted strict penalties for employees who unjustly dismiss female employees. Companies with a significant number of women are subject to additional scrutiny and oversight from a specialized section of the Labor Ministry. The government is actively enforcing regulations to protect women from unfair dismissal, particularly in companies with many female workers. The Equal Employment Act, or the EEA, promotes gender equality in the workplace by prohibiting discrimination against women in areas such as recruitment, promotion, and retirement. It also mandates maternity leave and childcare support, ensuring that women have the necessary resources to balance work and family responsibilities. The education has not translated into better employment opportunities for women, largely due to societal norms that prioritize domestic roles. Although the education system has expanded significantly since the Korean War, with the average years of education rising for both genders from 4.78 years for men and 2.92 years for women in 1960 to 11.18 and 9.37 years respectively by 1998. A gender gap persists particularly in higher education. While primary and middle school participation rates are nearly equal, the trend shows that more educated women are less likely to work. This is attributed to gendered division of labor that relegates women to lower skilled, lower paid jobs even if they hold tertiary qualifications. After the UN's International Year of Women in 1975, the Korean government set up various committees to address women's issues. Under President Kim Dae-jung, women's rights gained greater visibility within the broader human rights agenda. The Korean Women's Development Institute, or the KWDI, established in 1983, acts similarly to research arm, providing information on women's status for public and governmental discussions, and offering education and training opportunities for women. It advocates strongly for women's social participation and welfare interests. Western feminism has limitations when analyzing women's situation in non-Western societies, including Korea, where women's issues must be understood within their specific historical and social context. The Korean women's movement has been significantly influenced by the nationalist movement, with gender issues often overshadowed by struggles for national independence and anti-imperialism. In the 1970s and 1980s, marked by political oppression and social turmoil, the movement prioritized political struggles over women's emancipation. Consequently, gender-related issues have largely been shaped by their relevance to the nationalist agenda. This dynamic has impacted the visibility of issues like sexual violence and the plight of comfort women, which have not received significant attention from either women's group or the predominantly male nationalist movement. According to Darcy et al., South Korean women are largely well-educated, engaged in the economy, and blessed with optimal maternal health services. Yet, recent World Economic Forum and United Nations reports rank South Korean gender empowerment among the lowest in the developed world. And lastly, sexual and domestic violence. A 1989 study revealed that Korea had the third highest rate of reported sexual assault in the world, following the US and Sweden. Despite these high incidents, many Korean women hesitate to report such crimes due to societal pressures surrounding virginity and chastity, which often lead victims to feel responsible for the assault. To address these issues, the Women's Sexual Violence Relief Center, or the SVRC, and the Women's Hotline were established in the 1980s, providing counseling and raising awareness about sexual violence. In the 1960s and 1970s, saw a rise in female wage labor, followed by the 1980s when economic growth allowed for a focus on social issues and establishment for women's organizations, leading to significant legal improvements for women. In the 1990s, women began gaining political power and participating more in decision-making. The women's movement is now tackling issues of sexuality, sexual relations, and moving beyond a nationalist focus on economic and political concerns. While traditional gender roles and patriarchal values remain, women's status has significantly improved over the past 30 years, indicating a brighter future.